now. No, nothing can move you.
Well, good morning. It is 10:51 a.m. in New York City. Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Brown Show on the go. And the election is over with. It is a wrap. And as expected, I did not expect Kamala Harris to win this race, despite the effort to get her to win the race. And I'm usually in post-mortem of campaigns. I always like to do what I call dumb DNC mistakes because I usually lean Democrat, but I'm an independent at heart. I'm actually a registered independent, but I vote more Democrat than I do Republican. I do vote Republican, and I'm proud of my voting philosophy. I don't take sides. I believe in taking over. I think black people should dominate the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, especially foundational black Americans, and any other party. We need to have our hand in the cookie jar of every party, and we need to dominate, which means we can't have everybody on one side. If we're going to truly get what black people want, we need to dominate all parties. That's why you should not be running your mouth because some Democrats going on to the right. They need to go. We need to have more people go. Plus, a lot of black people are conservative in nature anyway. They're not liberals and they're not left leaning. And the only reason why we traditionally vote Democrat is because that's how we were brought up. You know, some people like, I was born a Baptist, I'm gonna die a Baptist. So why? Why you gonna die a Baptist? Any reason? And why you want to die Baptist in that Baptist church? That Baptist church is dead as the doornail. Well, I've been here all my life. Well, tell your pastor, step it up. Because not only you going to die, but that church is going to die with you. So you need to step it up. I was born a Democrat. I'm going to die a Democrat. Why would you? I can see if they went all out and put their life on the line for you. And likewise with the Republican Party. So that's why you don't have black people shouldn't have no loyalty to no political party. Your loyalty relies on you and your community. You never ever, you can utilize these political parties to push your community agenda, but you don't sell out, you don't get co-opted, you don't become one with. It's a business transaction. Now, don't talk about this campaign. Okay, Kamala Harris was never a popular politician. When she got her start in politics, I think I'm a little too loud. When she got her start in politics, she started out working under Willie Brown. Willie Brown was the man and commanded a lot of San Francisco's political scene. After that debacle with Harvey Milk and the murder and the Jim Jones situation, he rose up and became a prominent political figure, city council, the whole 9 yards, eventually become mayor. And they had a relationship. Willie Brown was still married. Willie Brown's wife was still trying to get in, trying to fight for her marriage, but Kamala Harris did not want to hear none of that. And and the reason I go through this is because that decision put her on Team Willie Brown, and they began to run as a slate, and that's how she got a lot of positions. Willie Brown ended up giving her board jobs and commission jobs that you're supposed to qualify for, which she didn't qualify, but yet she ended up on those positions. She ended up getting 2-3 jobs, and all she had to do was show up for a meeting every now and then, and she didn't even want to do that. So going up that ladder, she became district attorney, part of that Willie Brown team. She became district attorney. She became prosecutor, district attorney, and then she became AG. Now, at that time, people began to see her in a positive light as AG when she first ran. But when she became Attorney General, as Attorney General, her record was horrible. I mean, I could go into details. You're going to have to go back and watch some of those videos. And her record was trash. She did some good things, don't get me wrong, but the trash things that she did, the slimy, scummy things that she did, overlooked the good things that she did do. And then when she began to run, and as a result of that, her opportunity to be reelected as Attorney General was slim to none. So what happened was we had somebody that decided that there wasn't going to run for office, leaving the seat open for Kamala Harris to run unopposed. Easy win. All right, I'm not going to get reelected as AG because the shenanigans I did as Attorney General, folks don't like it, and my chance of winning is slim to none. So I might as well go for the next position. Since this seat open, I'm going to run in it unopposed. And that's how she got to the U.S. Senate. She's been coasting. It's the blessings and favors of God. That's the only thing I can say, because she can't campaign worth 2 cents. If it wasn't for Willie Brown and his campaign strategists working with them, she would have never got to that point of being state attorney general. United States Senate. First of her kind. Now she's in U.S. Senate. Too early, thinking she's another Barack Obama, and I'm quite sure she didn't think that. They probably believed that and told her that and made her run for office too early. You just got there. Get seasoned. That's one thing I can say about AOC. She ain't trying to run for president. She need to get that season in. They wouldn't wait for Kamala to get seasoned as an attorney, as a U.S. senator. So she runs for office, runs for president. In the first few debates, she got demolished. Tulsi Gabbard chopped her head off, brought up some accusation, backed it up with facts. All that fact is there on how locking up and truancy laws and things like that, and firefighters and covering up for police departments, stuff like that. All that stuff is documented. So after that beatdown of Tulsi Gabbard, she began to lose in popularity. She was one of the first people to drop out of the race. But yet, she still had the ability to garner up votes. Didn't that debacle happen where Barack Obama called everybody to drop out of the race and support Joe Biden? And like clockwork, the king of the Democrats got his wish. We had Pete Buttigieg dropped out. We had Elizabeth Warren dropped out. Everybody dropped out but Bernie and Joe Biden. Everybody dropped out at the word of the great God of Democrats, Barack Obama, Hussein Obama. But yet, they knew that Kamala Harris was spending most of her time in South Carolina, because she figured if I can get one state early, it's going to be South Carolina, because the competition up in the north, ain't no black people up there in Massachusetts and Maine like that. Not Massachusetts, but ain't no black people up there in Vermont like that. Massachusetts like that, stuff in Boston, Iowa, Wisconsin. So she spent her focus over there in South Carolina. And between her, Bernie, and Biden, she began to garner a lot of the black vote. So it put her in the power position that, hey, I can swing this toward Bernie. I can swing this toward you, Joe. See, Joe was getting his butt whooped. Joe wasn't winning not one Democratic state in the primaries. He was getting his butt cheeks spanked. Kamala wasn't faring that well either. Only people was garnering some support is Pete Buttigieg and Bernie Sanders. And again, Pete Buttigieg he got out the race because Obama told him to get out. Elizabeth Warren did also. Kirsten, I don't know, is it Kirsten Gillibrand? I forgot that lady name. Everybody dropped out. And I honestly believe that Kamala Harris really knew she had a card, that she could swing this election for Biden or Bernie. And like a smart person should do, when you hold leverage over somebody, you can do what you want. You can kind of write your own check. And that's what she did. She held leverage. She had enough of the black vote that she could either turn it over to Bernie or turn it over to Biden. So I don't know what happened, but I know Biden told her she's on the short list of his VP. And that's when she decided to tell her supporters to support Joe Biden. And that's how Joe Biden pretty much won that. Not only with that, but with James Clyburn, so-called kingmaker. Not this year. Not this year. You ain't made no kings last night, bro. It's over. It's a wrap. It's time for you to go too. With Kamala Harris' help, Joe Biden won South Carolina. Now, here's the scenario. I want you to see this. She dropped out the race. Her popularity was low already in California. She cannot go back to California and run for office. She cannot. And after the debates, her popularity got even lower. She was one of the most unpopular U.S. senators on Capitol Hill. So she knew her chance of running for U.S. Senate is done because she was under 40% popularity. So U.S. Senate is done. Can't run for governor because Gavin Newsom got that on lock. Only thing I got left is Joe Biden. Hopefully he'll pick me as his VP because her career was pretty much done. And lo and behold, Joe Biden did. In my book, he should have picked Stacey Abrams. That was one of his biggest mistakes. Stacey Abrams worked so hard, bust her behind to help him get that nomination. Not Kamala Harris, but Stacey Abrams. But anyway, that's besides the point. So that's how she leveraged herself up to be VP. Now, Joe Biden said that, look, when I run and win, I'm only going to do one term. One term, I'm getting a little old, just give me one term. He did it. But he want to get cocky. I'm going for 4 more. First of all, you lied. You lied to her. You lied to your constituents. You lied to the whole Democratic Party. They're looking for something fresh, vibrant. Now, I don't think it should have been her, but she was fresh and vibrant. There was a lot of other people in the Democratic Party that could have won, could have ran, but they denied them the opportunity to run. They didn't let them get into the database, the DNC database. They didn't want to give them the funding. People like RFK, Marianne Williamson, they all ran for office in the Democratic primary, and they all made enough percentage point to get in the debate. But the DNC decided we ain't having no debate. We ain't having no primary. I know y'all running in our primary, but we ain't going to have it. Joe is I got. So you got healthy JFK, RFK Jr., and not a big fan of Marianne Williamson as a politician, as a philosopher, as a guru on the subject of love. I can rock with Marianne Williamson. But as a politician, nah. No. You're a sexist misogynist. No, it ain't got nothing to do with that because I love her when she's in her lane as an author, talk show host, and a love guru. Because one of my favorite subjects is the love subject. Well, let's fast forward it. Joe Biden decides to run anyway. He has a disastrous debate against Trump. Disastrous. Really exposed himself as a man that's in deterioration. So Obama made another phone call. It's always Obama. Obama the one made that, look here, I need you guys to drop out. We need to push Joe, because we can't have Bernie Sanders. Oh, no, we can't have him. We can't have that socialist win this election. And honestly speaking, Bernie Sanders and Barack Obama always had beef. Bernie Sanders was the first person to come out for Barack Obama. campaigned more than anybody for Barack Obama. And Bernie wanted Barack Obama to push some of his policies, and Barack Obama told him no. So they got a little dissension right there. Bernie said you should never shut down Obama for America, keep it open, and run candidates under Obama for America and run them on the same platform you want. Let's find little Barack Obamas and raise them up to be in your image so they can run for office. Now, Kamala Harris wasn't one of those. But Barack didn't take Bernie Sanders' advice. Now, here it is, 2024. Joe Biden refused to step down. So Biden had to work through Hollywood. I mean, not Biden, but Obama had to work through Hollywood in California to force Joe Biden out of office. Folks, Joe Biden did not want to leave. He was forced out. Granddad, give me the keys. You almost hit the tree. And the tree, it's just a wrap. We can't have you drive anymore. And that's what Barack Obama did. Look here, Joe. I love you. You my man, 50 grand. Always got your back. And me, Michelle, and the kids. And, you know, we love you and Jill. But you got to step down, bro. I'm not stepping down. Oh, look here. Either you're going to step down the hard way or you're going to step down the easiest way. The easiest way is better. We'll find a way to seal your legacy with a good bow on top and a kiss. And bid you adieu. But you gotta step down. He wasn't going to step down. So what Barack Obama did through some of the biggest donors in Hollywood, like George Clooney, dry the money up, dry the donation money up. George Clooney came out with that op-ed that really set things off. And then you got Nancy Pelosi in the background working against Joe. Republicans wasn't doing that. Democrats were doing that. And Democratic donors were doing that. Now, Joe Biden wouldn't be in this position if he would have just stepped down and began to put her in a position to be raised up to possibly be his successor. He didn't tell her, look, you need to take some of this time and build up your international credibility. And she tried. Lord knows she tried. I give it to her. She tried. But it just ain't. Some people just ain't got that. That's not their lane. You got to stay in your lane. She is a prosecutor. And you trying to be a world diplomat just didn't work. When she went on her world tour to these different countries, her popularity even went lower. And some of the leaders began to look at her kind of like a ditz. Because she was doing silly things while she was there. And to us, it's cute and silly. But to them, they look at that as a sign of weakness. Joe Biden put her in charge of the border to make sure there's a certain amount of immigrants do come in and get processed, but this was a disaster. So what I'm saying is her career as a politician is done. She's not going to be able to go back to California and become governor. And why would she? Why would I want a lower position than vice president? If I can't have president, why am I going back to being a governor? I've been the vice president, and folks, vice president, she made history. This lady made history. First female vice president in America. Elected. Popularity still low as crap. Joe Biden popularity low as crap. That's why Trump was saying, you couldn't have beat me. Your popularity is trash. And so he used that as an excuse. Well, anyway, going back to Kamala. All right, it's time. We got Joe Biden to step down. Instead of holding a primary, because they didn't have time to hold a primary, and because they waited too late to run Joe Biden, they forced her to take his place. There was no election for her at the top of the ticket. They just placed her there. And it reminded me of the DNC lawsuit that said, hey, at the end of the day, in the primaries, even if you do vote, if we think that person is not it, we gonna not let them be it. We determine who gets to sit in that seat as the Democratic nominee. That's why we got super delegates, to make sure that your votes get overridden. So yeah, you can vote, and your vote is important, but the super delegate vote are way more important than yours. It's 1,000 to your one. So in other words, we have a higher elite of people that we care more about pleasing than you. And then on top of that, the DNC lawsuit says that the DNC makes the final decision who gets to run in the general when it comes to their side of the general election. They make that decision. So this is not truly a democratic process on this side, because they're not going by the bylaws, and they, just it's just not good. One of the mistakes that she made, and it's not her fault. Still blame Obama and them. I still blame Joe Biden. I still blame them. She only had 4 months to run. How can you mount a campaign on 4 months of time? And how can you muster up some kind of momentum? Whether it's legitimate momentum or not, we got to look like we got momentum on our side. So they came up with these strategies. We're going to hold a meeting. We're going to have these concerts. Folks like free concerts. They're going to come to the concert, and then they're going to endorse Kamala Harris, and then we're going to get all of Hollywood. All the people who you love, trust, we're going to get them to support her, and we believe it's going to cause you to ultimately support her. Bad strategy. 4 months, you're not gonna mount up an Obama-like 2008 campaign. Yet Obama think you should. Look, the numbers are not where it used to be when I was running for office, and it's not gonna be there because she ain't you. Fall. You're charming. You're very influential. You can convince people. You got a way of talking to people. Look here. Just stop by the White House, and we're going to have a nice dinner. Have a couple people come over. We're going to have a good time. And we'll talk about this. And next thing you know, you going out there doing whatever you wanted to do. That's how smooth Obama was. She ain't it. She ain't it. Look here, if I get that vote on this particular amendment, I will guarantee you that I will make that happen in your state. I'll lot out some funds. I'll send you some contractors. Do we got a deal or not? All I need you to do is support this amendment. You give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. That's Obama. She's not Obama. So, first thing, horrible candidate, horrible record. And I told you my old dumb DNC mistake. Never run a person with a horrible record. Never run a person with a horrible record. Let me see if I can pull that up, man, because I think some of these principles still are in use today on the dumb DNC mistakes. On the dumb DNC mistake. Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull all this stuff up. All right, give me a second. Playlist. Bam. Playlist. All right, let me see if I can put a name for the playlist. It's called Dumb DNC Mistakes. Dumb DNC Mistakes. I know you up here, buddy. Come on, buddy. All right, here. Dumb DNC mistakes. All right. Let me bring this up. And as you can tell, I All right, so dumb DM. I did this 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Dumb DM mistakes. So the first one is let me see. 6541. The first one is taking your opponent for a joke. You allow the media to do this, hate Trump, blame Trump, call him all kind of stupid, some of the most asinine names. Oh, he's trying to be Hitler. He said he's going to be a dictator. He's looking forward to being the dictator. That man said, look, if you look at the word dictate, yeah, for one day. Dictate means to take control and do something without anybody getting in the way. I want to close them borders, and I want to drill, baby, drill. I want us to do our own oil and get some money rolling for our country. After that, I'm good. Just one day. That's it. One day, I'm good. Y'all take that statement and say, oh, he want to be a dictator and take over the country. And this is what hurt you the first time. You said he was chilling out with Putin. They got a pee tape on him. Russians got a tape of pee. Trump getting peed on. This is in political circles. You talking about somebody getting peed on like R. Kelly, like, some lady was peeing on Trump and the Russians got a copy of it, and that's why he worked with the Russians to steal the election. And that was disproved so many times. You got your butt whooped. Your friend, you asked him to run for office. He tried his best to lambaste all the Republicans and get them all shot down. He wasn't expecting to win the Republican primary, but you was okay because you was hoping that your friend, Donald Trump, your friend of 40 years, going to be so bad that nobody's going to elect him, but they're going to overwhelmingly elect you. Just like they thought the same thing in this election. They did the same thing. Smear, lie. Instead of just running a good campaign on policies, on ideas, on vision. All we heard was Trump. It's Trump. It's Trump. It's Trump fault. Trump bad. Trump fascist dictator. Trump, you want to kill. He said he gonna, it's gonna be a bloodbath and all that. He didn't say that. He said when the auto industry if they don't change the auto industry, there's going to be a bloodbath in the auto industry. You lied about that. So support and vote Trump so I can get these jobs back over here to the United States. We should have never signed CAFTA and NAFTA in the first place. We need to get back to making America made stuff. Made in America stuff. So number one, taking your opponent. Let me see if I can get that to play a little bit. Taking your opponent for a joke. You guys actually thought you was going to beat this guy. You took him for a joke instead of running a serious campaign on ideas and not shame, smear, and lies. She did the same thing. And the media backed her up. Oh, General Kelly came out and he said that Trump said, he said that she said that he said that my mama said that my cousin said that she said he said. And Uncle Louis said to my cousin and my mama, that's the same thing. A grown woman goes behind the podium of the United States with the vice president's seal, very important podium, and you make a special announcement on live TV, shut the presses, stop the presses. Shut everything down. I got something to say. Girl, what I heard, what General Kelly and them said, girl, I heard he was trying to, that he wish he had generals like him. First of all, that's foolishness. That's kid stuff. He say, she say, you got no evidence of him saying that. You just heard what some general said that Trump did. A general that Trump fired, I believe he fired him. A general that wanted Trump to go into war with Iraq to beef up the military complex. Trump fires the dude, and you don't think he's going to say something negative against him? You actually come up here on a podium. See, these are the things that killed this campaign. And you start calling this man a fascist based on what somebody else said. Girl, I heard. Girl, let me tell you what I heard. You can't be doing that. That turns people off. It's not intelligent. It's not presidential. And the world looking at you doing that. I couldn't believe this lady wanted to be president. Go up there and did a he say, she say. She said she heard General, was it whatever his name? We like this. We want this lady to win. We want her to win. That way we can have we know what to do with a lady like this. That was highly unintelligent. Then your stump speech is the same. Trump bad. He gonna do this. He gonna put y'all back in chains, and he gonna take this away from you, and he ain't gonna look out for you. He gonna cut taxes for the richest, but he gonna raise the tax on y'all. No, your plan talk about raising taxes because you're gonna have to raise it to fund all these other programs, even though you plan on cutting the wealthy. But Trump said, look, no taxes on tips. No taxes on overtime. He actually talked policy. But you sitting up there lying saying he not going to give you no tax. He don't plan on giving you no tax. Trump going to hit you with high taxes. The man sitting up here saying, I got a way where I'm going to cut all your taxes a little low. You going to make money with me. Instead of you coming up with a better plan, you going to shame him. And matter of fact, you stole a couple of them. Number one, say taking your opponent for granted. You never take your opponent for granted. You never joke around with your opponent. You never do smear campaigns like this with your opponent. Not like this. Not on this level. The rhetoric on Donald Trump, you made him look like the devil. And then what that does, it brings radical out because they believe you. It's just like Trump. Trump got to stop doing this stuff too. You know, you calling them commie and all that kind of stuff. You got to stop doing that too, Trump. Because it's going to cause tensions to go up. People going to see you as that person because they believe anything the media says. And if the media say it over and over and over and over again, and you hear it over and over again, the scriptures say faith come by hearing and hearing by the word of God. Faith come by anyway by hearing. The hearing, faith for money. If you hear and read books on money and watch stuff on money, you'll learn more about how to make more money. So that principle is universal. If you talk this Trump fascists, we got to stop them. Oh God, somebody, we got to stop at all costs. You know, and please, you know, then somebody gonna do something crazy, thinking that it's their civic duty to save this country by getting rid of this guy. And sure enough, it happened twice. And y'all thought that was gonna stop this man. This man like, look, man, the way y'all been doing me the past 8 years, man, I'd rather get shot doing what I'm called to do. So taking your opponent for granted. Number two of the done DNC mistakes was disenfranchising the independents. Your issue where you disenfranchised, number one, Trump voters. Joe Biden did. Joe Biden threw her under the bus by calling all Trump supporters trash. And then you're going to allow the media. This is where Obama was so classy. When him and John McCain was out there debating, there was a lady who came out to John McCain and, you know, tensions was high because of 9/11 and Muslims and Muslim names, and Barack name is Muslim. It is Barack Hussein Obama. I mean, his dad was not her dad was Islamic, but not the traditional Islamic. So Barack Hussein Obama, Hussein, like Saddam Hussein. So that in the minds of some people, they thought they thought Barack Obama was a secret terrorist. Foolish thinking, dumb, but in the mind of some low educated or some people who just believe anything that the TV tell them. Yeah. Hillary Clinton came out with a picture of him in a Muslim guard, which wasn't really a Muslim guard. It was his traditional hometown guard when he went to visit his dad's country. We got to stop this. Doing that, you disenfranchise not only Trump voters, but other voters are seeing what you're doing, and it's turning them off. Hillary Clinton had a deplorable. Joe Biden called them trash. Then you lie and said that man called Puerto Ricans trash. Number one, Donald Trump did not call no Puerto Rican no trash. It was a comedian, an insult comedian, that his job is to insult people. He talked about the trash in Puerto Rico. He did not talk about Puerto Rican people. And here's more lies and more smears that's going to turn people off. Be truthful. We can't trust you if you're spitting out the same lies that the media spit out. That hurts you when you're running for office. It did for Hillary, and it did for her. Instead of talking about the issue and say, hey, there is a trash issue in Puerto Rico. It has been confirmed by FEMA. It has been confirmed by EPA. It's not Puerto Rico's fault. It's not Puerto Ricans' fault. It's a hurricane. 2 hurricanes hit that area and left 25 million tons of trash that's not been cleaned up yet, because FEMA right now is trash. The FEMA in this Biden-Harris administration is trash. They dropped the ball on Puerto Rico and other states outside of the United States that's part of our territory, and they dropped the ball over there in the southeastern, where that hurricane just demolished towns and killed hundreds, even thousands of people. The Biden administration, FEMA and EPA dropped the ball, and then for you to come out, how could you let Joe Biden have you come out and say, we're going to give you $750 for now? $750? Are you out your mind? This was your time to really go all out for these people, to prove to them that you can be presidential. You go into a podium and say, hey, I know you heard, and we're going to give you $750. That's a slap in the face. All these things matter when you're running for office. It's not black men's fault that you lost. It's not black women's fault. Black men, it ain't nobody black fault. I mean, people are entitled to vote for who they want. If they don't think you're the candidate that fits the vision that this for America, that they believe the direction American, I'm getting tongue tied. If other people don't believe that the direction you going should be the direction for America, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go the other direction. The Harris administration campaign is a pretty much Hollywood campaign. And most traditional Americans don't want Hollywood in their house. They won't want to freak off parties from Playboy Mansion to Diddy. And then you're going to sit up there and put all the Diddyites on stage to promote you and endorse you. Literal Diddyites. Like Usher. Like J-Lo. And then you're going to have the ratchet rappers and the ratchet singers at the convention singing ratchet songs. When you got businessmen, dignitaries, and all this stuff, and world leaders still looking at your campaign to see if you got the goods. And then you got people looking at that, and you got your own people criticizing you on that stuff on TikTok and everything. So we had, number one, taking your opponent for granted. Number two, you're disenfranchising independents. You're not reaching out to them. You're only talking to Democrats. You expect the independents to vote for you, but you're not giving them no reason to vote for you. You didn't talk about a plan that's going to serve them. And when you ain't got no plan, then you ain't got no man. You don't have no plan to drive. You got to have a plan to drive people out to the polling stations. Number three was neglecting the Bernie bus. There was a segment of people in the Democratic Party that say, hey, no black agenda, no vote. No reparations, no vote. And they was not playing. You thought they were a joke. It's just like with the Bernie bus people. They said, look, we want $15 minimum wage. We want Medicare for all. And if you ain't talking that, then don't talk to us. And you took them for granted, and they didn't vote for you. Matter of fact, a lot of them went to vote for Trump. Just out of spite. Another mistake. When the black community tell you their needs, you need to listen, and don't wait till the last freaking minute to come up with something just to get a vote. Because they done smelled you now. Now you want to get something? Really? Because black men decide to be men and take a different direction because we don't like where you're going? We don't like your politics and the way it's going? You talking about if my son, who's only 7, 8 years old, all of a sudden feeling like a girl for 1 week and wants to be a girl, that you going to sit there and defend him instead of shaking him up and telling him, look, you ain't no girl, man. If you don't get your... Man, stop. You want to assist him in changing his sex as a child? These things are turning people off. And a lot of people say you're going too far to the left and we got to bring you to the center. And one of the ways we bring you to the center is to deny you the office. So you neglected the own people in your party. You neglected, you stopped RFK Jr. from running, and he had a base that you guys could have used. RFK got almost 500,000 votes. Jill Stein got almost 500,000 votes. Now, Jill Stein has a right to run as an independent, but you disrespected that. I'm going to get to that in a minute because you sued to get her off the ballot, especially here in New York. And people see that, and people say that's undemocratic. You suing people to get them off the ballot. Why would you want to get people off the ballot? Well, she might steal votes from her. There's no such thing as stealing votes. You got to earn votes. Nobody vote belong to you. You don't get capitalize on people vote without something in exchange. You're going to get these people removed off. And if anybody in the party want to run against you, you're going to shut them down. You're not going to get them funding. You're going to shut down the voters' rolls. You're going to shut down the DNC database from them. That's what you did to RFK. You did to Marianne Williamson. You pretty much choked them out of the campaign. And they had supporters. And these supporters could have been on your side if you ran the fair campaign in the primaries. But you didn't run a fair campaign. Not you, but the DNC, who represents you. Oh, we're not going to have a primary. That's not American. That's undemocratic. You're supposed to have a primary. We're supposed to have opposing views. We're supposed to find out other people's vision for America so I can rightfully say whether I want to vote for you or not. My vision is the only vision you're going to know about. Then I'm not voting for you. You're not going to shoebox me in and force me to vote for you, and you're not going to use Trump bad, Trump boogeyman, none of that stuff. That stuff don't work for a lot of people. A lot of people ain't scared of Trump. And they wasn't scared the first time. They wasn't scared the second time. So you know they weren't going to be scared the third time. Some of these people will run up and challenge him in his face. So you took your opponent for a joke by spearing him and then think he was going to make a come back at you. You disenfranchised the independents. You had an opportunity to get more people on your side. A lot of people went over to RFK. A lot of them. And you had a lot of people who were willing to support Cornel West, but you was ready to get him. You shamed him. Cornel West decided to run for president, and y'all shamed this black man. Shame on you. Shame on you to do Joe Biden like that. And you claim you love Joe Biden. Shame on you, black man. Shame on you. You can't disenfranchise your people and potential people that could be on your team when needed. But you just dumped on them. You pooped on all his supporters, all Jill Stein supporters. Well, they wasn't in your pocket anyway. But you did have a lot of Democrats, especially Muslim Democrats, that decided to support Jill Stein because of the Palestinian situation. Number 4 in the dumb DNC mistake is never run an establishment politician. You can't run somebody that has a weak campaign. You can't run. Going back to the beginning of her career, which most people don't talk about, she got her career because she was everybody like Willie Brown. Everybody loved Willie Brown, and if you down with Willie Brown, we down with you. She got in good because of Willie, but once she started doing her own thing and getting away from Willie, everybody didn't really go for her. As long as she is under Willie, she's doing good politically. But the moment she got up from under Willie, everything goes down. The AG position, popularity go down. The U.S. Senate, unopposed run, no opponent. At the same time, popularity go down. This was her first major run with an opponent. Her first major run with an opponent other than the AG position. And like I said, with the AG position, if Willie Brown endorsed you, it's a done deal because everybody love Willie. Everybody love Willie. Number 5, running untrusted candidate. She was not trusted. I can go about the lies. First of all, claiming that you're being black when your daddy is Indo-Jamaican and your mother is Brahminian. What's the Indo-Jamaican? That's an Indian Jamaica. An Indian. That family migrated to Jamaica, worked the fields in Jamaica as indentured servants or just a hire or a labor person. They weren't slaves. As a labor person, they got paid real cheap. But one of the family members that owned the plantation fell in love with one of the workers, decided to marry him, and that's how his lineage started. You got this Indo-Jamaican born woman that married this Irish man. They fell in love, and that's how that family became part of the Brown family. Nobody's black in that family. None. But you're allowing them to run you like a black person. And people smell that from around. Some people still believe it, and some people, well, she went to HBCU. White people go to HBCU too. She was in the sorority, black sorority. White people joined black sorority. Those are excuses. The fact is, chronologically and genealogically, she is Indo-Irish Jamaican. 75% of her is Indian. And the rest of it is Scotch-Irish. I heard Jewish too, but I don't know about that. I can't verify that. People didn't trust you when you started talking about, oh, I smoked weed back when Tupac did. I was listening to Tupac when I was smoking weed. People like, really? I watched my collard greens in the bathtub. What? People know you lying. Lying. Untrusted. Her own daddy went and wrote an ad against her because she was talking about, I know about weed. My family's from Jamaica. Boy, her daddy went in on her. Her and her daddy do not get along. Her daddy stay about 30 minutes away from her house as VP, and he ain't been there yet. All these things, these same mistakes were made again in this election. You took Trump for granted. Instead of dealing with him on the issues, you want to deal with him ugly with smears. That's your big mistake right there. Number two, you disenfranchised the independents. You wouldn't let the party shun RFK supporters, shun Marianne supporters, shun Cornel West supporters. You shun the Muslim people that's in your party, and you shun some of the black people in your party. You gave everybody concessions. You gave bill after bill, money after money to Asians. But black people been suffering over here. The illegals come in here, you put them in a hotel, and then you're going to take our tax dollars and give them $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month when we can't even get $500 a month. So the people in Chicago and New York and stuff like that, they're like, even though New York went blue, you got a lot of people that got disenfranchised. You helping everybody else with our money instead of giving us our money to put back in our community. These people were not born here, not raised here. They just got here, and you gonna go carte blanche with our money? Hold up, Mayor Adams. They don't like the food that we're giving them, so you're gonna get them extra money on the car so they can buy the food of their culture? What, man? Are you crazy? Man, they better eat that food we give them. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 says, don't run untrusted candidates. That's why I just went in. She wasn't real to be trusted. I mean, people just got caught up in the black girl, Supergirl, black girl magic. She wasn't black in the first place. She's a beautiful woman for her age. Thank God the makeup. The ebony makeup. Remember that ebony makeup? They used to have, what is it called? Ebony magic or whatever. Number 7. Blaming everybody but you. Now, watch. In the next 90 days, they're going to blame everybody but her. It was black men's fault. It was the media fault. It was her fault. No, it's the party fault. I wouldn't even put all the blame on her because she's just a puppet. She's just a Manchurian candidate. Whatever you need her to do, she's going to be there because she's playing team. It's the DNC. It's people like Jamie Harrison. It's people like James Clyburn. And a lot of these political leaders, Hakeem Jeffries and all them. You're blaming Trump. Everything Trump. Oh, they're bushing, and Trump is the reason why these ladies went through this, and Trump is the reason why this person went through this, and Trump is the reason why. But Trump, and that's how he got elected. You put his words, you put more of his name out in the atmosphere than he did. And when you put more words out there in the universe, those words will come back to bless you. Sometimes curse you, depending on the word that you're putting in the universe. Every time I turn around, I turn on the knees. Trump, fascist, Trump, racist, Trump, sexist, Trump, bicycle, Trump, airplane, Trump, tutu, Trump, thong, Trump, 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 Trump. Regular people ain't thinking about no Trump. Why are you trying to you're trying to put fear in people's heart to vote, which is another thing that I never put in the DNC mistake. Never run on fear because it will backfire on you. Run on faith. Run on ideas. Run on policies. Run on how you're going to apply those policies. But don't run on fear. Oh, Project 25. Oh, we just got word that he was going to do this and do that, and some militias and stop. I won't fault the people for Kamala Harris's loss. They tried. First of all, you thinking black people dumb enough to be moved by a free concert? You advertise so-and-so will be opening up for Kamala Harris, and black people think when you talk about opening up, it ain't a bottle of wine, it's not a bottle of Hennessy, it ain't some woman's legs. We thinking it's going to be a concert. The opening act. Megan Thee Stallion going to be opening up for, Lizzo's going to be opening. You had all these stars coming out, people thinking that they're going to be opening up for you, so they coming to the free concert. They really don't give a crap. Some of them, not all of them, some of them really care about your speech. A lot of people care about it. But some people say, man, I bet you had some Trump supporters that like Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B, and they showed up to the rally just for the free concert to realize they ain't performing. Gorilla performed, singing her nasty songs at a presidential rally. And you telling me we ain't going too far to the left? We don't have no decorum when it comes to the office of the president and running for that office, the great privilege of running for our office. We're going to have, he can eat my this and he can eat my that on the stage of a rally. People didn't take this as a serious campaign. And your ideas sound good, but you never talked about how you're going to do it. Trump go around, sit down, he said, look, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do tariffs here, we're going to cut off this, we're going to implement this, blah, 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 blah. And we've proven it in the past that it works. Number 6, DNC mistake. So let's go over it again. Again, I made this 7 years ago after Hillary lost. These are the mistakes that you made that cost you that election. Try not to make these mistakes in the next election. Well, you made these same mistakes in this election. Let's go to number 6. Pandering to people instead of earning their votes. Pandering to people instead of earning their votes. You're talking black when you're around black people. You're talking southern when you're around southern people. You're talking Indian while you're Indian people. You're talking perpendicular talk when you're around perpendicular people. Pandering. The Democratic Party lives and breathes by the black vote, so let's give black people what they want. James Clyburn has fish fries. And people get excited about James Clyburn fish fries, and I don't know what he put in that fish, but it sure make them go vote. And James Clyburn ain't did nothing for those people in this county. That county is one of the poorest counties in South Carolina. His county, where he represents. The job numbers are atrocious when it comes to percentage rate. High employment is on an all-time high. It's a rural town, so most people don't have transportation to get around. He had the fish fries. She bringing out all the Hollywood elites, all the music entertainer elites, free concerts here and there. That's what you call pandering. Instead of giving them something worth going to the polls for. That concert ain't going to make me go to a poll. Hearing Cardi B endorse you ain't going to make me go to the poll. Because me personally, every time I hear Cardi B talk, all I hear her talk about how when she got revenge on a man, she would get him drunk, they'll have a good time, and they go get lit some more to the house, and then she'll bring one of her girlfriends, and you know, both of them work them over. and he'll wake up and find out one of the girlfriends a tranny. According to her words, a tranny. That's just as worse as Diddy. Being part of the Diddy team. You going around tricking people into getting done by a tranny because he's knocked out on some drugs. Y'all got nerve to talk about Bill Cosby? What about Cardi B? Now look, her music bumping and everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of the lyrics, but her music bumping, man. I mean, Cardi B, she's a good rap artist. And let me end this because I wasn't supposed to be on here this long. I gotta go to work early. These same mistakes that the Democratic Party made in 2016, they still making these same mistakes, and that's why they lost to Trump again. You made those mistakes in 2016 and lost to Trump. You made the same mistake in 2016 and 2024, and you lost to Trump. Scaring people to go to the polls ain't gonna work. It never worked. You got to give people a reason to go. Give them faith to go. People want to be motivated to vote, not feared into voting. Right now, everybody who are summer right now, who are shocked that Trump won, they're in fear. You know why? Because the media put it in them. And you politicians put it in them. But you got some people that know better. People like local Democrat legend here in New York, in the Bronx, Ruben Diaz, who endorsed Trump. These people know who Trump was, but they knew Trump, always knew who Trump was. Now, don't get me wrong. Like any other politician, none of them turkeys are innocent. None of them. You got the crook, and you got the crooked cop. And sometimes that crooked cop is way more than the crook. The reason we got the crook is because the crooked cop did something to make him a crook sometimes. You're a crooked cop. You got to get your numbers up. You pat me down. And while you pat me down, you going to act like you going to pull out 3 vials of crack. Only thing I can say is that's not mine. That's not going to hold up in the court of law. That crooked cop used you to get his numbers up. Never been to jail, never been arrested, but he's still a crook. You don't have to go to jail. You don't have to be convicted to be a crook. And we got a lot of non-convicted crooks in Washington, D.C. A whole lot of them. So going back over this dumb DNC mistakes, taking your opponent for granted. You took Trump for granted. Instead of dealing with him as an opponent, you deal with him as the worst thing ever to walk the face of this planet. And y'all be dumb enough to, y'all dummies. And shame on you to vote for them. That ain't going to make people not vote for him. That ain't going to make people vote for you. That's not a way to get people to vote for you. Talking about the other opponent like a dog ain't going to make somebody fall in love with you. Especially when they know you probably the same way. I'm telling you, that record in California is atrocious. Donald Trump has done nothing compared to what she done in California, but that's what crooked cops do. They don't get caught. They back to blue. They have a blue code and a blue shield. Blame everyone for why you lost but you. That's coming. I'm telling you, that's coming. Disenfranchising other voters that could be voting for you. You disenfranchise them, call them all kind of names, call them deplorable and all kinds of stuff. Garbage and all that. That's not going to get people on your side to win. Matter of fact, that might motivate them to cause you to hurt more and lose. Neglecting the people within your own party who's trying to ask for help, like those Muslims who we keep bombing. We keep funding Israel weapons and money to bomb the hell out of Gaza. And you expect those Muslims to support you? And they know you're funding? And you said you're going to do the same thing Joe Biden do? doing? That you lock stock in with Joe Biden and how he's handling, you would handle it the same way? You sitting there telling these voters, these Muslim voters in Michigan and Detroit, that I'm going to do the same what we're doing now. We're going to provide the money to Israel. We're going to provide the weapons. And we're going to continue to carpet bomb those people on their own land until they get out. So we can take over and build nice luxury rentals and get some of that oil off the field. You said that you're going to continue to do the same thing. And you wonder why they didn't come out to vote. And then you go sit there and say, I ain't going to just do something for black people. No, that is another one that got you. Even though we voted for you in the majority, more than anybody else, more than Latinos, more than Asians, more than Ukrainians, more than Russians. We voted for you more than anybody. We still got that in our that bad taste from a few years ago. Oh, I'm not just going to do anything for black people. No, but you did something for the Asians. You did something for LGBTQ. You doing something for the migrants. You let them come into this country carte blanche. But you're going to tell her, I ain't going to just do something for black people. And then when you need black men and you're trying to finesse them to come back in, you're going to come up with this black plan. And once we looked at the inside of the black plan, we realized it's not really a black plan. It's a minority plan. And folks, you got to understand, white women are the number one minorities in the country right now. Not black people at all. We are at the bottom of the totem pole. White women is the number one. LGBTQ men and women, number two. Black people are at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to that. So those are the mistakes that they made in 2016, the same mistakes they made in 2020. We're going to go look at the exit polls a little bit later, maybe Friday. I got a lot of stuff to do, but I do want to address this. And before I close, let me talk to you people out here that's going around saying, see, we don't get out and vote. See, we always hurt ourselves. Folks, let me tell you something. Black people, you should always stand proud through every election. Because if it wasn't for you, I'm talking about black men and women, if it wasn't for you, they would never get any kind of power. But you're going to let them tell you the reason why they lost. What the hell? They telling you the reason they lost is because a lot of black men went to the Republican side. There were always black men on the Republican side. They have their reason for being there. They don't believe like you do. They don't think like you do. They're conservative. They're not liberal. They're more toward the middle. You're going more toward the left. They believe in traditional family. They believe in traditional marriage. A lot of them are religious. They believe in being the head of the household. They believe in having guns and protect their family. Why wouldn't they go over there? If that's how they are, and they see you're trying to take the guns. You're trying to break up the black man in the family. You're trying to minimize his power. Why wouldn't you think they're not going to go over there? You can't keep everybody. You're not going to get 100% of anything. The way you guys going right now, you lucky black men haven't left 50% out of the Democratic Party. You're going to send black Kamala out there to shame black men and try to manipulate them, not understanding that black men are smarter than you think. We're not dumb. And we're spirit guides. We're led by our spirits. And a lot of us are tuned into God. And when we see things going the wrong way and we hear God say, nah, you're going to have to go the other way, man. I don't care who don't like it. You got to go the other way. You ain't taking your family in that mess. Until they get it right, you got to go. So don't you dare allow media, don't you dare allow these white politicians and any of these other non-black politicians try to make it seem like you're at fault. If anybody, they're at fault because they don't vote in the numbers that we vote. Go holler at your Asians who got a crime bill and some money from COVID. Go holler at the Latinos, especially the one that's coming across the border. They getting carte blanche. They getting $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. Here in New York, they paying them $25,000 just to leave the shelter, just to leave. They giving them food on our dime. LGBTQ getting all kind of rights. Now they have the right to have your daughter get tackled by a man if she wanted to go into man sports. A lot of people ain't with that. I don't want my daughter playing with no boy and no sports and get brutalized. Her body makeup is not the same. So don't get mad at those black men that they left. You need to ask why so they can explain to you. And in my opinion, again, we need as many blacks as we can in the Republican Party. We need many black people in the Democratic Party. We need to take over all parties. As long as you're on one side, you have no leverage. But when you take over it all, you got leverage. As a black man, as a black community, you don't take sides, you take over. And once again, black people, be proud of yourself. If it wasn't for you giving these nut wings, these lunatics, these jerks, the power every 2 to 4 years, they wouldn't win nothing. You are the power structure. You just don't know it. You got the ability to cripple them or empower them. But yet, they act like you're no good. They act like they own you. And they're going to talk to you like they own you. And matter of fact, we're going to talk to your women to talk to you like they own you too. Then we're going to get Black Kamala out there to shame you. The hell you will. Black men and women vote from 75% to 90%. Black men is still the number one voters. Cross board. When I say cross board, I mean cross all parties. We're the number one voters. The only reason we're polled as the number 2 voters in the Democratic Party under women is because we see what's going on and we say we out. we ain't doing this no more. To save my family and traditionalism in the family, because tradition is okay. To save that, I'm going to have to take a different direction. Either I'm going to be independent with conservative mindset, and like me, I'm independent, I'm conservative, and I'm liberal. I'm not liberal. I'm not conservative. I'm a hybrid. Talk to the man and ask them why they left. They'll tell you. They see something different for their family. You may not understand it, and you may think this about MAGA and red and Republican. No, it's about conservatism. Black people always fare well under conservatism. That don't mean you got to be a Republican. I got some liberal ways and conservative ways. But we never fare well going to the left. That's how they minimize our kids, our ability to turn youth into soldiers, black warriors. They trying to minimize that and tackle that early by getting to them and putting in their mind, hey, we can feminize you. No, you ain't feminizing Jack here. We're going to pass some laws, and if you're getting away, we're going to arrest you. You're just going to have to arrest me. But I tell you, I'm going to be punching y'all in the face and trying to take one of y'all out while you're doing it, because I'll be damned if you try to raise my kid. Well, we have to move forward, and this is a day and time, and the laws have changed. And in California, if you get in the way of your young child seeking to be a girl when he's really a boy, then we can lock you up. I'm going to give you a reason to lock me up. Because if I hear any of y'all talking to my child about that, that's your last day on this earth. Because I put that on the same level you trying to kill my son. That Negro can't even tie his shoes straight, and you talking about he can make a decision to be a girl. Man, if you don't get out of here with this, man. See, this is the things that's turning a lot of people off. You weren't going too far to the left. Now, I went over the dumb DNC mistake. Those things are the major reasons why Kamala Harris lost. And it's going to be the reason why the next person lose, and the next person, and the next Democrat, and the next Democrat. Instead of realizing what it is and turn ship, change your course, you're going to keep losing. You guys got your butt slaughtered last night. Slaughtered. The Republicans remained the House and Senate. They gained seats. Folks, when Obama was in office, he lost 1,000 Senate seats, 1,000 congressional seats, over 1,000, because it was all about Obama. It wasn't about the down ballot. And people voted against Obama through the down ballot because there's some things he said he was going to do and he didn't do it. And there's some programs that he invested in and folks didn't like it, like the drone strike program. If you don't change your ways, Democrats, and look, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not, I'm an independent, but I'm trying to help you guys out because I do vote for some Democrats. There's some Democrats I rock with. There's some Republicans I rock with. I see what they're doing in the community, especially here in New York. Louis Sepulveda, Ruben Diaz Sr., not Junior. I'm not a junior dude. Senior was my man. I got to work with him on some identity theft issues. Great man. He got a hard broken English, but very cool guy. Funny as I don't know what. I love him. He endorsed Trump here in the Bronx. People went off on him. He don't care. I got to do what I got to do for the future. I got to do what for my children and for your children for the future. I see something I don't like. I don't like it. I don't like it. I can't support it no more. When people say I can't support that anymore, they mean they can't support it. Don't expect them to support it. You want to gain their support again? You can't do that no more. You got to stop it. Again, in closing, black people, don't you let none of these people on the media tell you that dang on lie. And don't you sit there and tell that doggone lie. And don't you let nobody tell that lie. You stop them in their tracks. The moment I see you go up there talking about, oh, we let ourselves down. Just because she lost doesn't mean it was your fault. She got to take the blame for her own campaign, number one, and the way she handled it. And number two, she got to look at, the Democratic Party need to look at the people that don't vote. Stop coming to us, making it seem like it's our fault. If it weren't for you, you would have got no power. And what do you do in return? Give us no power. When we help you guys get elected, that's not giving us power. You can elect people to office and you still control what they say or do? They can't make no decisions for themselves. They got to fall under your bylaws. Oh, forget the, well, I know you love your black community, but you can't do that as a Democrat. And if you go down that route, we're going to have to disavow you. Like a freaking cult group. The moment I want to do something for my people, big and audacious, you're going to pull me down and say, look. That kind of, no, we don't do that. Only, you're focusing only on your people. You can't do that in this party. We got to focus on all people. Well, you focus on individual people. Obama, when he first got in office, he did the Lilly Ledbetter Act. That was more for white women than it was for black women. The first act Yet it wasn't white women that put him over the top. It was black people. He didn't do no legislation for black people. None whatsoever. Yet we put him over the top twice. Told us that lie. Look here. I know I didn't get as much done. You ain't getting nothing done. But I need another 4 more years. Give me 4 more years. Congress was in the way blocking me. But give me 4 more years. We ain't doing that no more. You better come correct. Don't come with no sly, slick, silly stuff. Don't come with no cosplaying, acting like you this and you ain't, and you know you're not that. Black people are the greatest people on the face of this planet. If it wasn't for us beautiful black people, the Democratic Party wouldn't have no chance. And thanks to the Democratic Party and how they treated our beautiful black people by doing for everybody else but us, who gives them the power. A lot of people that threw their hands and say, that's it. I'm going to have to punish you. We ain't voting for you. Oh, no, that's it. I'm out. I'm not going to keep going through this deny and neglect while you hook everybody else up. I'm out. And even with that being said, we still outvoted anybody else in any demographic. Black people, including black men. We may be number 2 in the Democratic Party, but we vote still better than anybody. So when you got a problem with voting, don't you carry your behind over here talking about what we ain't do. And don't you sit there, let them tell you that it's our fault and we ain't looking out for each other and we ain't got each other back. We do. At least in that party. We sit there blindly, overwhelming, voting for people who ain't doing nothing for us. So you can't take the blame. I mean, we could take the blame for being sadomasochists. Let them treat us like trash and deny and neglect us while take care of everybody else. We can take the blame for that, but we ain't taking the blame. No. I'm not gonna let y'all talk like that. If I hear that, I'm gonna shut you down. We always hurt our own people. Not in this case. If you're tied to the Democratic Party like that, like a cult where you identify black people with this political party and not separate, first of all, that's what you call brainwash, and that's what you call a cult. And the proof of it is when Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and y'all sitting up there saying, yeah, that's right, he right, he ain't wrong, girl, he right. No, yeah, he hell of wrong. That should be the message that told you you're in a cult group. When you allow these white racists sit there and talk like that to your black, to you, because that wasn't for black men. When you sit there and let that man talk like that to you and you not get upset. See, brothers did not like it when Obama put his, talking about, look, your numbers are low. I consider it an insult if you don't step your game up. I need to talk to you brothers. You need to get your act together. You know, your mama's black. Your auntie's black. Negro, I know that stuff. Ain't got nothing to do with this. Carry your behind somewhere else, man. With that bull crap. You are not the reason why they lost. Well, maybe you are. Maybe you are. Maybe you are. They need to consider if you caused them to lose, which you did not, because we still overwhelmingly voted. What the real change is going to come when they see the numbers of black people drastically drop. 10% is not a drastic drop. Not even 20%. But to them, they were like, oh, God, 10% black men. Man, why y'all ain't looking at them 10%, 15% voters over there in the Asian population? They vote for you 15%. We vote for you 75%. Why you in our face? Get up out my face with that mess. Go on somewhere with that mess. And then they're going to send you our beautiful black queen, to get on. Well, I can't talk to them. I need you ladies to talk to. Who you work for? Who did God ordain you to be with? The Democratic Party or your black man? Well, the black man and the black, don't mention that party. God don't care nothing about no political party. Who bewitched you? Why you let them taught you how to hate? They taught you to hate this man. Some of you literally hate Trump. Because he hate us. Who told you he hates you? What did he do to show that he hates you? I just don't like the way he talk. You still go to work, your boss is a jerk. You join the military, your drill sergeant talk to you all kinds of trashy ways. Did you leave? I'm done. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell. You want to support the stream, you can support the stream at paypal.me/BobTV, $BobTV, $BobTV. Hit the notification bell. Make sure it's on always, so when a video drop, whoop, there it is. We're going to talk more about this. We're going to go over the exit polls. We're going to go over the demographics, and it will continue to prove my point that black men and women is not at fault for this lady losing. She has her own fault. Biden has her own fault. The DNC have their own fault, and their strategy of campaigning suck. And go watch those dumb DNC mistakes, and it still is relevant to this day. These are the reasons why you lost. Learn and fix it. Fix it. Learn and fix it. Boy, y'all got spanked. The Republicans spanked you. And it's nobody's fault but you. You got to look at yourself. I'm just showing you some areas you can look at. You ain't wash under your arms. You still got to, all right, you got some dirt in your fingers. See, I'm just exposing areas that you missed. Why? Well, it ain't because I love you. Why? Because I want you to do better by my black people. Because my black people is in this party, and they are doing whatever. They continue to put you over more than anybody. And when I see them getting neglected, I got an issue with that. And as an independent, I'm going to get on you about that. Now, tomorrow I'm going to talk about Trump first 90 days once he get in office, things that he better do. That if he don't do it, it's going to hurt him more than anything, because now that he's elected, they're looking for a way to attack him. They're going to look for a way to get him in jail, but that's not going to put a Democratic in charge. That's going to put J.D. Vance in charge, but maybe they'd rather deal with J.D. Vance, his VP, than him, because they scared of Trump. They know Trump ain't no joke. Trump don't play that. And that's one of the reasons why people are either they don't like him because he don't play that, or they're scared of him because they don't play that. But there's a side of him that because you know he don't play that, it could benefit you. There's going to be 10 things I'm going to talk about that Trump need to do the first 90 days to get the public on his side. Because as long as the public is on his side, Democrats are going to have a problem dealing with him. But it must involve him really, really bring blessings to the people, to the public. Like that no tax on overtime, that is beautiful. When you need to implement that right away when you get in office. You need to start strategizing and putting in motion that now, so when you get in office, you can automatically go into full gear. To stop the taxes on overtime, that's going to make more people love you. Even though you may be the devil, even though you may be Hitler. That's what they say about you. I don't believe that crap. You must do things that they always talked about doing, but never would get to it. You must put yourself in a position where you shame both parties. for not doing what they should have been doing with the American people. Like that money we're giving to the illegals need to come to the natives in this country. You need to take that money and you need to invest in your veterans. You need to build houses for veterans. You need to provide them food in the house that's being built for. There should be homes for veterans. If you served in the military, nobody in the military serving need to be on the streets. Anybody that served in the military need to have their own spot. It ain't got to be big, but they need to have housing and they need to have food that they don't have to ever pay for. The housing they shouldn't have to ever pay for. They deserve it. Now, if they want to get their own car, bam, you got to get it. Clothes, there should always be clothes coming into that to the veterans, new clothes. Tax write-off for these businesses. Ideas like that. He really need to do a 90-day program to uplift the forgotten man, as he would say. Other than that, boy, they're going to be whooping you. They're going to be on your behind. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get ugly. And we don't need that. They still going to be trying to take your life. So I'm done. I'm done. Really, done DNC mistakes. Go watch it. Go learn. That's exactly what happened in this election and some more reasons that I went over. Trump, in the future, he needs to really get some things done for the American people. That's going to get the American people on this side. He got to go really all out. And I'm not talking about stimulus checks. I'm talking about some things that they feel they earned it. Like the overtime. No tax on overtime. Great idea. And last but not least, black people, don't you let nobody blame this on you. The hell with them. And don't you blame this on yourself. And don't you blame this on your brothers and sisters. The people who got her beat, go holler at the LGBTQ community. Go holler at the Asian community. Go look at the demographics. Look at the numbers. And you go holler at those people that's under 50%.